Hey guys, it's Erika. If you're new to my channel, I make a lot of plant videos, like plant care guides, a lot of plant tours, and today we're doing a plant tour for beginners at Home Depot. Since spring is coming up, it's gonna be spring in less than a month, so I've been wanting to see what plants they have. So we're gonna go in there, we're gonna see what plants they have, we're gonna talk about the plants they have, what might be best for your situation, and a little bit of care sprinkled in there. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're starting out with the outdoor plants, which can be for indoor plants. So first of all, we have orange birds of paradise here. These are bird of paradise. I'm sure you've seen their flowers. They look like a bird, a flying bird, which is how they got their name. But there's an orange kind and there's a white kind. So this is the orange one, and then this is the white one. And you can see that there's a really big difference, especially like even if there's not the flower, which this one would have a white flower and this one would have an orange flower. Oh, I'm sure they have a picture. Yeah, there you go. But you can see that these leaves are a lot smaller, they're just thinner, and then these ones have really nice big leaves. So that's the difference between them, but they are the same price. So it's really just your preference, and these do like a lot of light. So if you don't have a lot of light, then I wouldn't recommend buying these, even though they're so pretty. And then here, this is an Alocasia. I'm not sure which kind this is. It might be a taro, but alocasias are the plants that got, you know, really big leaves. These leaves are really small compared to how big they can get, and they also need brighter light. These guys like to be in warmer weather. We're getting into spring, so that's not really a concern for right now, but as it does get cold, they do tend to go dormant if you're in somewhere that's really cold. So I live in Southern California, so I can have one year round and it won't go dormant. But if you live somewhere where it snows, then make sure that you have it in the house in a little warmer area. You got your heater on. And alocasias do tend to get spider mites easily, so I would recommend to just, you know, check the undersides of the leaves, make sure that you don't see any spider webs, because spider mites are just like this little teeny tiny spiders, and they just eat the whole entire leaf. You'll notice because the leaf will kind of turn yellow like this. This isn't from spider mites, but that's kind of how it looks. Moving on over here, we got some banana trees. I think banana trees are one of the most gorgeous plants ever. So this is a red one. You can see right here. These also need a lot of light. All of these plants here, you can see that they're like, there's no cover above them. They're kind of, you know, in direct sunlight, so that's how you know they need a lot of light. That's why they're out here. But their leaves are so gorgeous. There's also banana trees that aren't red like this, so they're just green leaves. Over here, there's a lot of palms. These ones also need a lot of light. You want to make sure to give them enough sunlight, otherwise their leaves are gonna turn yellow and they're gonna fall off. So I'm telling you, you gotta have bright light. Like a west facing window would be good for these plants. Here we have some Ficus benjaminas. This is the regular one, and there's also a variegated one down here. And these also need a lot of light. They're really pretty though. They're just like trees. Little trees you can keep inside. All right, we're indoors now. This one kind of has a small selection, but we could talk about it, you know? So here are some palms that are inside. You can see it's a lot more sparse. It might have been here for a while. If you can, definitely buy the best looking plant at the store. These are Boston ferns. They're very big. Some ivies. Surprisingly, ivies are actually pretty difficult to take care of. I don't own any ivies because they're kind of a struggle, but they are really pretty and they look super nice hanging in rooms. This one is $7.98, and I can feel here, like, This soil, I don't know if you can tell, but it is soaking wet, which means this plant could have root rot, and that's not necessarily like the best situation to get your plant in. It's always better to underwater your plant than to overwater it. Like you can see I put it down and little droplets of water are coming out. This thing has so much water in it. So if I were to take home a plant because I didn't check the soil like this, as soon as I got home and I felt like the soil was this wet, I would probably take it out in a chunk, put it in a bowl, and then put a fan to blow on the soil to dry out a little bit, and hopefully that would save the roots, because this is like a water puddle in there. It is so wet. So you always want to check the soil of your plants too. I think I have a video on how to choose a good plant. I'll link that. Here's some spider plants. These are $7.98, and there's 3 or 4 kinds of spider plants that are really common. This is just a regular variegated kind, and these are just, the variegation is on the inside, so the white part is on the inside, and on the outside it's green. And then this is the inverted variegated kind. This has the white on the outside and the green on the inside. So you can see the difference there. And then this one doesn't have any variegation. But they all need like the same care, so it's really just preference on how you like how it looks. This is a golden pothos. I think this is like the #1 plant for a beginner to get. Like, I highly recommend this plant. If I could recommend one plant to a beginner, it would be this one. They're so easy to care for. Just water it when they start to look droopy, or when the soil is like pretty dry. And they grow really well. You can keep them in a low light situation, so if you don't have a lot of light, this is a really good plant for you. And yeah, they have these beautiful gold flecks, gold variegation, and their leaves can get really big too. And they trail. If you want, you could even stake them up so they could be tall. This is just an all-around like perfect plant. Over here we got some peace lilies. These are also a really low maintenance plant. They can be in lower light situations as well. The only thing though is that if you have pets, this is a very toxic plant. This part right here. There's a time where this part kind of sheds like pollen and it'll leave little sprinkles, and that's very toxic for pets. So if you have a pet and you want this plant, make sure that it's out of the way. And these are $12.98. These like to be a little bit more wet than the pothos, so water it more often. I wouldn't let it completely dry out, but these are super dramatic plants. If they need water, they will completely droop. They will look like they're dead. So this is a good plant to buy on clearance. They don't have clearance at Home Depot, but at Lowe's, you can see them. They're so droopy. They look like they're dead, but they just need some water and they'll go right back to normal. So this is a plant that I would recommend to get on clearance if you can. Here we got some Dieffenbachias. They're commonly known as dumb canes. These are also really toxic. They're called dumb canes because if you eat them, then you won't be able to talk anymore. So don't eat them, but they're so pretty. And there's so many different kinds of this plant. Different Home Depots could have different, you know, types. I think this one is a Camille, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll write it down. These are $19.98. They're just so nice. I love these leaves. Down here we got some ZZ plants, and these are one of the hardiest plants there are. You can water them when their soil is completely dry. Like, these are plants that you can neglect and they will still like live and grow. But that's because they're so hardy, they tend to be more expensive. These are $12.98. And they can live in really low light situations. So if you don't have a lot of light, these are also a really good one. They're just like so hardy plants. They're really worth the money because they survive through anything. Here are some Dracaenas. They can be medium to high light. More ZZ plants. More golden pothos. These are $10.99, a different size. These look pretty good. Some more ivies. And then here are anthuriums. They have these really nice leaves. I don't have an anthurium, my mom had one. I think they're difficult to take care of. I haven't tried, but I don't think these are like easy plants to care for. There's different color flowers, different colored flowers you can get. Here are the money plants, money trees. These are $12.98. And these ones are easy to care for. Just water when the soil dries. These are Maidenhair Ferns, which have a reputation of being really difficult to care for in the plant community. These are $19.98, and I know they look so beautiful and luscious and flowing in the wind, but they will die if you change any little thing about their environment. So you can try and tackle this, but yeah, this is a difficult one. And then these are snake plants, which are similar to the ZZ plant in that they're so hardy. They can be in low light situations. They're just really tough plants. This is the Laurentii. It has the yellow edging. And then this is a Zeylonica. It's kind of like a Laurentii, but it doesn't have the yellow edging on it. So you can choose whichever look you like better. Here's a really big one. This big one is $24.98. Over here, these are little rubber trees. These are Burgundy rubber trees. There's a lot of different colors of rubber trees, but this one is the most common to find, and they do like a lot of light also. So if you don't have a lot of light, I wouldn't recommend getting this plant, but they're really easy to take care of, and if they're thirsty, they're one of the plants that will kind of droop a little bit, but they don't need a lot of watering, so just water whenever their soil is completely dry. These are Bromeliads. They have really pretty colors. Some more little Dracaenas. These are marginatas, and these are $4.98. These are really easy to take care of also. Here's a Monstera deliciosa, and this is how their leaves look when they're, you know, juvenile. And then as they get older, they're gonna grow split leaves. And this plant is like, you probably have seen it everywhere. They're iconic plants. But they grow pretty fast. The more light you give them and, you know, just taking care of it really well, it's gonna grow so fast for you, and you're gonna have a really big plant in no time. They're really fast growers in my opinion. And this one is $16.98, but that's because it has the pot. But they're so pretty. This is a really good plant to have. It's so easy to care for like the way that it looks. It looks like it would be difficult, but no, it's super easy to care for. Some little parlor palms, some more Dracaenas, Crotons. Crotons I think can get spider mites easily too. Just in general, for all your plants, make sure to check them often to make sure they don't have any bugs. These could have like medium to highlight. They're really pretty. There's also a lot of different ways Crotons can look. This is called the Petra. This one is $3.98. They're so pretty. They have like different amounts of color, so you could choose how you want yours to look. Over here, these are Fiddle Leaf Figs. I think that these plants are really popular also. They're not really super easy to take care of, but once you find like a really good spot for them and you kind of get their watering schedule down, because they're really picky about their watering schedule, then you should be golden. But these plants get really expensive as they get big, so if you just want to test it out first, I would recommend buying like a smaller one to practice on. In case it dies, you won't have lost like a whole bunch of money. But these right here are, let me see. So these are $24.98. They're really pretty. They don't grow super fast. They grow pretty slowly, so if you want like a big one, then you gotta buy a big one for it to, you know, be the way that you want it. Some more snake plants here. varying sizes. These are like the smaller ones that I would recommend. If you can, I've seen even like 4-inch ones. That would be a perfect one to test out because that one is the cheapest. But these, oh, these are also $24.98. And you can see this leaf is a little bit misshapen, and that's because it's not in like the perfect conditions. So yeah, they'll get funky leaves if they don't like what's happening. And then these spots are from inconsistent watering. So yeah, they'll like tell you when something is not the way they want it perfectly. These are polka dot plants, and they have different colors you can get of this. Some of them have white polka dots, some of them have darker pink or lighter pink. These are $5.98. These are also really picky plants, but once you put them in the condition they want, they will grow so fast. These are really fast growers, and they'll get like droopy like this when they need water, but these might be overwatered because their soil feels wet. And then here, these are Enjoy Pothos. So they're kind of like golden pothos, but they have a different, you know, different look to them. These are really pretty. These usually tend to have smaller leaves than a regular pothos, but they pretty much have the same care. So they're pretty easy to take care of. These are $6.98. They're really cute. Here's their succulent selection, and these are pretty easy to take care of. Just don't overwater them. So whenever the soil is completely dry, you can water them. And I wouldn't put these in direct sunlight. They might get burned. But I just want to show you guys this specifically. This is called a bear paw because it looks like a bear paw. It has these little spikes here, and it feels like a bear paw. They're so soft and fuzzy. They're just the cutest thing ever, and if you want a succulent, I highly recommend this one. Up here, you can see their hanging succulents. So these are just like their string plants. These are a string of bananas. These are super pretty. These are called ruby necklaces, and they have really amazing yellow flowers, and every time I see them I have to talk about them because they're just really nice. They're so pretty. Since it's springtime now, they also have spring cactuses being sold. During the winter time, they sell a similar cactus to this, but they're Thanksgiving cactuses, and now they're selling spring cactuses, and I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this. Let's see how much they are. They are, well, no idea. But these are pretty easy to take care of. During the springtime, you want to water them more often so that they'll bloom, and you can get them. Some of them have like this red edging, some of them don't. You can just choose whichever one you like. They all have different flower colors. This one has so many flowers coming off of each little segment, so that's really cute. But I highly recommend this plant. It's called a spring cactus, but it's not like a regular cactus in that you like water it so like inoften. This one you need to water more often. Right now is when it's blooming, so you can cut back on watering after the blooms die, but they're so pretty. Like, I highly recommend these. They're amazing plants. I found only one of these, but this is called a ruby cascade. It's a peperomia, and in my opinion, peperomias are just so difficult to take care of. They need to be watered like so infrequently. You need to make sure their soil is 100% dry before watering them, otherwise they're gonna get root rot. They get root rot very easily, and this one feels like it's really wet, so I don't have faith that this is a healthy plant. So you just want to make sure you check the base of it so that it's okay. But this is probably $9.98. Look, it's already falling apart here. It's not a good sign. Alright, that was it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful, informative. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!